The Judith Kilborne Founders Award is given each year in recognition of Canadian Ski Council founder Judith Kilborne. This award is presented to an individual who has made an outstanding and long-term commitment to the ski industry in Canada, working as both a professional and as a volunteer. Judith chose the criteria for the award to reflect the qualities she felt her father, Gordon Francis, possessed. The winner of the award has demonstrated a love for snowboarding and alpine and cross-country skiing. They have shown a determination to maintain the importance of winter sports for Canadians. They have worked nationally, provincially, and/or internationally to promote skiing and the Canadian snow sports industry. This year's Judith Kilborne Founders Award goes to a very special person, a man who is not only an entrepreneur and a philanthropist, but a big-hearted, sociable guy who has a passion few can match for the sport of skiing. His name is Dave Wilson, owner of Atlantic Canada Ski Wentworth and Crabbe Mountain. You might say Dave Wilson was born with a passion for skiing. Dave's father was George Wilson, an industrialist from Truro, Nova Scotia. In the 1930s, George and his friends often traveled deep into the Wentworth Valley to try an odd and exhilarating new sport called skiing. In the early days, the train was the only way to reach Wentworth Valley. George was joined on that train by guys from Truro with names like Ducky Cream, Chaz Stanfield, and Sleepy Kerr, along with members of the Halifax Ski Club. They'd pile off the train at Wentworth Station and ski to farmers' pastures. They packed down the snow as they climbed the hills, then slid down the stumpy slopes, learning to Vadel and Christie. World War II forced the groups to abandon their ski trips throughout the 1940s, but a decade later, by the 1950s, the Truro die-hard skiers and members of the Halifax Ski Club were back at it again. At the base of the hill, they rented a farmhouse from a woman they called Ma Purdy. They built bunk beds inside, and before long, Ma Purdy's place was the hub of skiing at Wentworth. There was only one problem. Wentworth was in desperate need of a rope tow. Many had tried to raise the funds necessary to build a tow at the base of Wentworth, but all had failed. By 1957, the Halifax Ski Club had lost heart. It was seriously considering moving or giving up on skiing entirely. It was then that the Wilson family got serious about skiing. Dave's father, George Wilson, had met with considerable success running the family business, Wilson Fuels. By 57, George had the means and the business smarts to run a viable operation, and he still had the passion for skiing. With the help from a group of volunteers, George offered to fund Wentworth's Beaver Rope Tow, the first in Atlantic Canada. Perhaps George Wilson's greatest legacy, however, was passing his passion for the sport on to his children. His sons, Dave and Peter, especially were encouraged not only to ski, but to help run the ski operation at Wentworth. When George encouraged Dave to sign up for Ski Week at Quebec's Grey Rocks, Dave found himself completely hooked. From that point forward, Dave Wilson and his late brother Peter committed themselves to the growth of the ski industry in Atlantic Canada. Over time, they expanded Ski Wentworth to be the largest ski area in the Maritimes. It was an amazing feat, really. While building T-bars and lodges, chairlifts and snowmaking and ski shops at Ski Wentworth, then later at Crabbe Mountain, Dave was also overseeing the operation of several multi-million-dollar companies, including Wilson Fuels, a retail gas station and home heating fuel supplier, and Kerr Controls, a wholesale heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration company. The Wilson Group of companies now employs more than 1,100 people across Atlantic Canada and Ontario. Dave Wilson's business acumen earned him a spot in the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame, along with his late brother, Peter. Dave was named Atlantic Canada Entrepreneur of the Year in 2009. And in 2011, Dave and his sister-in-law Rose received the Atlantic Canada Red Cross Humanitarian Award. With all this, how on earth did Dave Wilson have time to run 2 major Canadian ski areas? Dave's daughter, Leslie Wilson, now general manager and president of Ski Wentworth and president of Crabbe Mountain, is in awe of her father's dedication. "Honestly, I don't know how he does it," she says. "I don't know where he finds the time. He just loves skiing so much that he commits himself. Even through the lean years, when there wasn't much snow and it was really hard to be in the ski business, he stuck with it. Many people would have given up, but not my father." Joey O'Brien is also in awe of Dave Wilson's accomplishments. As the former owner of Ski Marduk in Nova Scotia, O'Brien was both a competitor and a partner of Wilson's. The two often worked alongside one another to foster a healthy ski industry in the Maritimes. O'Brien now refers to Dave Wilson as a philanthropist and as the godfather of skiing, a man who selflessly dedicates his time to the sport so that other people can enjoy it. Dave Wilson is the patriarch, O'Brien says. There is never any question in anybody's mind that he doesn't have Ski Wentworth in his heart. Despite all his other commitments outside of skiing, and there are a lot of them, the staff at Wentworth always have his ear. These days, Dave Wilson can still be spotted skiing the slopes at Wentworth. He enrolls regularly in adult ski lessons. He's known for his big voice, friendly handshake, and frequent yodeling. His daughter Leslie says her dad hums to himself as he skis down the trails. Often, Dave can be spotted emptying the trash cans in the Wentworth parking lot. Dave Wilson is a dream of a guy, says Colin Shador, former president of the Canadian Ski Council. He's down to earth, always makes you feel welcome, and he's a fantastic storyteller, the type of guy you could listen to in the bar for hours after skiing. Ron Gathercole, a past Founders Award winner and longtime member of the Canadian Ski Patrol in Atlantic Canada, is in agreement. Dave Wilson is a consummate gentleman, he says. He's very caring, energetic, and dynamic. He's a driving force in the Canadian ski industry. Now in his mid-80s, and having passed down his passion for skiing onto his children, one wonders what's next for Dave Wilson. For starters, Dave will never retire, predicts Joey O'Brien, Wilson's former business rival. He will likely die fighting with his ski boots on. And his legacy will be leaving a ski industry in Atlantic Canada that is far better than when he started. Through his children, his legacy will be continued. Patrick Arkeveld, President and CEO of the Canadian Ski Council, sends this final message. On behalf of the CSC Board of Directors and staff, I want to congratulate Dave Wilson on earning this year's Judith Kilborne Founders Award. Please join us in congratulating Dave Wilson on earning the 2012 Judith Kilborne Founders Award.